So the shout-out section is no more because it's going to become a shout-out video from now on. So thank you for joining me. There is, this section just kind of ballooned out of control. And if I want to do shout-outs and respond to viewer comments, then it's got to become its own dedicated video. So thank you for joining me. If you want to get your very own shout-out on any one of these outlets, then you can find me, look for The Nerdy Ninja. You've probably seen it once or twice at this point anyway, so you should know what that guy looks like. I'll probably put him on the screen right now too. And just look for Generally Nerdy. That's the name on everything. Sometimes there's an underscore to space it out, and sometimes I have to spell a little bit weird like on Twitch, but we don't really do the Twitch anymore these days anyway, so it's not a big deal. Generally Nerdy is the place on all of the social medias, so let's get to the shout-outs. Twitter shoutouts. We have one new Twitter follower, Turbo Laser Skull. Thank you very much, nerd, for the follow. I do appreciate that. Again, on Twitter, generally _nerdy is the place to follow there for your very own shoutout. Instagram, actually we had a little bit of success on Instagram this week, so thank you very much, nerds, for the follow preemptively. We're going to start with depressedcafe, schmicko _ I think that's just one underscore, cred34885, detoyboys, nudelbursche, Assel Sereo, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing these. Avalon the Faithful, all of you followed me within the last week. Thank you very much, nerds, for the follows. If you want to follow me on Instagram, you can see I post news articles up there. There's usually a section that goes up there. There's a bunch of additional content on the Instagram. At Generally Nerdy is the place to do that. Getter this week also had a bit of an explosion. We have a whole bunch of stuff, and the first one on Getter I cannot pronounce because it is in Chinese, which I find very interesting, but the @handle is again when, so thank you very much, nerd, for the follow. Halibote, Athena, Bote, and then a randomly generated number, it looks like. Thank you very much, nerd, for the follow. We have KenLaCorte, Ms.Shadow, We the People Are the United States of America. That is somebody's actual name on Getter. And also John Wood. Thank you very much, nerds, for the follow. If you want to follow me on Getter because you have sworn off Twitter, then the place to do that is at Generally Nerdy. Before we get to the YouTube, where we talk about the new subscribers, as well as do viewer comments replies, we do have some TikTok stuff to get out of the way because I skipped it last week, and I apologize. There's like 5 people that didn't get their shoutouts, and I'm so sorry. Here are your shoutouts, though. We're starting at the top, and we're going with Quick37, one Nazaya, I think, Westover, but spelled with numbers and not all letters. That's I see what you did there. captinskiddy, _fizzy, Owen120U, Killadog8, the Vigilant, who uses Vigilante as his icon. I think that's great. mbscoots, Master of Spoons, bwreece, and greyskaler. Thank you very much, nerds, for the follow over on the TikToks. Honestly, the TikToks is the most active of these shorts outlets, so you can join me there at Generally Nerdy. So that brings us to the final section of the shoutouts and viewer comments, and that is YouTube. So YouTube, new follower, or new subscribers, I guess is more appropriate. We have Stephanie Ortega and Alberto Macias. Thank you very much, nerds, for the subscriptions. It helps out a whole bunch when you subscribe over on the YouTube, because that's one of the more, one of the outlets that people take more seriously when we're going for bigger interviews. So thank you very much. But now let's get to the viewer comments. I'm considering potentially doing this over on the TikTok too, because there's been a lot of comment action there that I'm just responding to in text, and I could use this platform now that we're doing a whole video for it. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. But YouTube comments are as follows. Adam Menzies was commenting on Orville Peck, the Orville Peck video, and he says, and I quote, "The album is amazing. You come across as kind of bitchy. Flamboyant, you mean gay. Gay, 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 gay. Yes, the dude is super ultra mega gay, and we love him for it." I never said I had an issue with the fact that Orville Peck is gay. I very specifically used the word flamboyant because I don't think that his sexuality has anything to do with the way he presents himself. I think that the flamboyance comes from the fact that he is very big and loud, and that is the persona he is trying to personify when he's on stage. I have said this previously when responding to viewers. Flamboyant is the word I went with because I would use that same word to describe pretty much like 80% of the music videos that came from the 80s. The 80s hair metal music videos were very flamboyant. Even the ones that were dark and edgy, still super flamboyant. The only gay part about the music video is the time when Orville and the main subject of the video start dancing together. That was pretty gay, but I don't really care. I just made the I was going off of the assumption that because of, again, his personality, that the music video was going to be a certain way, and lo and behold, I was right. Sequins, neon lights, all of the flamboyance, a bunch of glittery stuff. Yeah, it was flamboyant. Is Orville Peck gay? Sure. Do I care? No, not at all. I think Orville Peck is incredibly talented, and who he wants to do the naughty with is totally his freaking business. So, yeah, he's gay. Okay. Next, we are talking Jan Nestroge, commenting on the Meshuggah reaction video. She says, and I'm going to be quoting here, so I apologize if you are sensitive to words, but fucking mighty reaction. Thank you, you. You're welcome, Jan. I'm assuming you are a she. I very much love Meshuggah as well. I appreciate that you were not super nitpicky about the things that I think I was being overly analytical about, probably is a good way to put it. So yeah, I will keep them coming if you guys keep watching. So there you go. Our next comment comes from Bruce Smith, also talking about Orville, actually responding to one of the other comments Mr. Bruce Smith was, and he said, by that logic, there would never be need to paint something you could just take perfect photo of. Thank you. That is exactly the thought that I was having, but that is a much more succinct and, it turns out, eloquent way of saying it. Pitch correction. The person he was responding to was asking why me as an audio producer takes such issue with pitch corrections, because pitch correction, much like beat replacement or drum replacement, I guess is the word I was looking for, it takes the soul out. It takes it's much less expression if it's perfect. Because and Adam Neely over on his channel has at least 2 videos talking about the human performance and how that colors the way we interpret it as people. So if you take out the human performance by correcting the pitch with a machine, then there's less there for us to connect to. Which, again, very much more eloquent and succinct in the, by that logic, there would never be a need to paint something you could just take a perfect photo of. Thank you very much, Mr. Bruce Smith. Next, we're talking about, this one comes from the Clip channel. Jacqueline Rain commented on the Claudia casting from a few, I guess it was a couple months ago now that we talked about that, over on the AMC series for the Interview with the Vampire. She says, I hope it's a complete failure because, again, the questionable casting choices, I'm sure, to which I say, I really don't. I really hope that Anne Rice's legacy can live out in something that's also going to be awesome. If you want the original story, if you want the way those characters were originally portrayed, that still exists. That does not cease to be because of these new questionable casting choices. Now, could they have, or should they have even changed the character name because they are so dramatically changing the age of the character? Yeah, I believe very likely that is probably the better choice to have made, but they didn't choose to do that. Does that mean I want this show to fail? Absolutely not. I think it's going to, it definitely has the potential to at least be something amazing, to be something that we watch for years and years and years to come. So yeah, I don't agree with the sentiment, but thank you for the comment. And then we have Brian Lindy also on that same one. And this is a little incoherent, like a lot of comments on the YouTubes are, so bear with me as I try to sift through it rather. If Claudia waited long enough, she got whatever size breast she wanted, only if she had stayed out of Paris, France. I don't see what that has to do with the conversation we were having in that video. What does the size of Claudia's boobs have to do with anything? Aside from if she were to have been older before she turned into a vampire, she theoretically, yeah, sure, but who cares? That is absolutely an aside that doesn't add anything to the conversation. So thank you for the interaction, but again, what? But yeah, so that is our viewer comments. Thank you very much, nerds, again for joining. Generally Nerdy on pretty much every platform is where you're going to find me. And we'll see you in the next one. Before we go, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.